Hello, everyone, and welcome to Fabric Tech Talk Fridays. I'm your host, Patrick LeBlanc. I am here today with Mr. Dax himself, Phil Seamark. Phil, before we get into this, why don't you tell the people who you are and what you do?
So my name's Phil Seamark. I work on the Fabric Cat team as a DAX and data modeling specialist. But I'm not going to be talking about DAX and data modeling today. Do you want to see something really cool that might bring tears to your eyes in a joyful way?
A joyful way, right? I don't think I want to cry in front of everyone, Phil, but sure, let's do it.
Okay, so lately I've been toying and playing around with these language models, looking for interesting ways that we can use it, particularly in our world, Power BI.
Yep.
And I thought, I wonder how these might go at actually helping create visuals. Now, there's a bunch of different ways that you can create visuals. You've got the native visuals.
Create visuals in Power BI?
For Power BI.
For Power BI.
For Power BI.
Okay.
Yep.
So I'm really interested.
So let's say you've got a report, you've got a very specific idea in mind for your visual. You go to the native visuals, maybe they don't quite work.
Yeah.
Okay, so then you go to the marketplace, and there's some similar ones. You download and play with them. They don't quite cut it. So another option that's been around for a long, long time is to download the Power BI Custom Visual SDK. This is code.
Yeah.
It's been around for a long time. You can actually create your own.
Yeah.
Have you ever created one?
No.
No. And why not?
No. It's too much work. I don't know.
Too hard.
Yeah, it's too hard.
Yep, you got to know types.
I'd rather write DAX.
You'd rather write DAX. So I thought I'd actually try and see how well these language models go with the SDK. So I'll show you what I've got.
Okay.
So if you go over to MS Learn, there's a whole bunch of tutorials and information about how to get this set up, say on a Windows machine.
Yep.
Step one is to download and install Node.js. I've done that on my machine to save time. Step two, once you've got Node.js, is to download the PBI Viz. It's like a framework. So I've done that. So let's try this out. And I'm going to go to my terminal window and say PBI Viz new PBI Viz.
Man, you gotta learn how to type.
I need to learn how to type. Yeah. New. What should we call this? Pie chart.
Pie chart. The best visual in the world.
Yep. Now, what this is going to do, PBI Viz is going to create in this empty folder a series of files and subfolders in a project, a TypeScript project.
Okay.
And what I can do is once that project has been created, I can open it in Visual Studio Code, and I'm going to use the Copilot experience in Visual Studio Code to help me actually fill out the report. So before I start, what I can do is go PBI Viz start. So that's going to actually start a little web server on my machine. And if I jump over to the web server, I can debug that. It's still firing up. So sorry, I need to go into that folder. So what did I call it? Pie chart.
Yeah.
Okay, so PBI Viz start. And this is all explained really nicely in the tutorial. So you don't have to remember this from my explanation. And what's actually happening here, if I zoom out a little bit, is it's firing up a little web server to help me debug. And get this going. So now what I also need to do is fire up Visual Studio Code. So I'm going to open another window and go to Visual Studio Code. It's not letting me. Terminal, okay. So I can go back to CD, what did I call it?
Pie chart.
What was the Fabcon? And CD pie chart. And code. Okay, so this is going to open Visual Studio Code in the folder that we just created. I'm going to bring this back over here. Now, what we can see if you're used to seeing Visual Studio Code is a whole series of folders and files. And this is the Hello World document. So if I go and open the visual.ts, I do know if I scroll down here that there's a line of code called document.create node update count.
Got it.
So what I'm going to do is modify this just to show the round trip is actually working. We'll save that. Come over to my playground, and if I refresh it, what we should see is that modification that I've just made. So edits I now make in Visual Studio Code are now showing up in this Visual Studio container. I'm not going to write any more code. I'm going to switch now to what do you call it? Vibe visualizer, vibe coding.
Vibe code.
Chat with your visuals.
Vibe code.
Yep. Here we go. So let's have a crack.
So you're going to vibe code a custom visual.
I am. So the first thing I'm going to do down here in the prompt is just say, I might change to Claude Sonnet 4, and in agent mode, ask, do you know TypeScript?
So you're asking the machine, does it know TypeScript?
I'm asking the language model, which in this
language
case
model.
is
Okay.
sort of, and it's already saying, yeah, I can see your project. It looks like it's a Power BI custom visual project. So now let's give it a better prompt. And to speed things up, what I'm going to do is kick this off, and I'll explain what I've actually asked the Copilot to do. I'm saying that this is a TypeScript project that we have open that will help us build a Power BI custom visual. Without any help, without any context, the language model, I've asked it to simply create the best visual you could possibly create, a simple pie chart that can cross-filter in Power BI, and that I already have a debug server running to test this. And what we can see under the prompt is the language model chugging away. It's having a look at the project, seeing what it's got to start with. It can go look up some information. It can go to MS Learn if it actually needs to. But what my expectation is shortly to see is information here to say, I'm now editing your file. So what we'll see is a little information to say, I've added X number of rows and I've deleted X number of rows, and we can see the diff. But the language model's now actually doing the work for me. So
You don't have to learn how to write TypeScript.
that's the key thing. The prompting is the really useful. Now I'm doing a pretty basic one, and depending on how well the internet is going today, it does impact how quickly it can chug through. I do have some backup ones to show you if this doesn't work. Now, a couple of things I want to call out. Down here in the prompt, inside Visual Studio, you've got the ability to switch between agent mode and ask mode. Agent mode will actually modify the code. And as we can see here, it's actually added 197 lines of code to my visual.ts.
But it found an error.
It's fixing that. It'll find errors and it'll actually fix that. And all going well, we'll get to the point where we'll have the pie chart. We'll go and check it. Now, once we've got the pie chart, we can continue the conversation with the Copilot to say, can you format the title this way? Can you add this conditional formatting, these features, etc.? And it knows enough how to do that. Once I'm happy with my pie chart, I can package it up. There's a PBI viz command that allows me to create a single file that I can email to you or that I can upload to the marketplace, and you can start incorporating it into your reports. Now, I've had some conversations recently with people like Miguel Myers, who owns the Visual Space. And in the space of a Teams call, we test drove this. He said, what about making a column chart, multifaceted, quite a complex pie chart, and it worked. And you can see here in the conversation, we are pretty nearly there. So we'll keep that code and go and have a look in my sandbox just to see what's going on over here. We have a pie chart.
Wow.
And it's cross-filtering my other visuals.
Wow.
Now, so you can create business useful charts without having to, like a pie chart.
That tells me nothing.
If we really want to make this good, I can go back to my Copilot and say, can we make this better by making it 3D? Because how can you make a pie chart better? You make it 3D.
How to make it 3D.
Oh, okay, let's have a little bit of fun with this instead. So I'm going to go back to my command line, and I'm going to say PBI viz new fun visual. All right, so we're going to create a brand new visual. We're not going to create a business useful visual, and we're going to repeat the same exercise. I might just have to jump in and kill this one, and we'll get rid of that. And once this creates a brand new project, I can go into that project. So fun visual, PBI viz start, and then we can open code. Oops, I did that the wrong way. Sorry, code, and then PBI viz start. So get my debugging server running. Okay, and I'll bring my Visual Studio Code. So this is what we did before with the pie chart, but I reckon we can have a little bit of fun. Maybe how about we change the model. Can you create a Minesweeper game for me as a Power BI custom visual?
But you can create a game in Power BI?
Oh, you can create multiple games. You can create selectors. If we've got enough time, I'll show you something really, really cool. So let's just have this chug away. In fact, what I might do, for time's sake, trust me, this will work. This will actually go. It creates a to-do list at the top. This is quite a new feature that's come in, so we can see the progress about what it's doing, how it's going about it. We can look at all the code if we want. How are we going for time?
We're great. We're great.
We're doing right. We'll let this actually go.
Let it go.
Let it go. And Visual Studio Code obviously integrates really nicely with GitHub.
Yeah.
So I do recommend, if you are going to experiment and play with this, one of the first steps you should do when you get something that looks semi-okay is to ask your Copilot to create a repro and check it all in.
Yeah.
Make sure you do that pretty regularly, because it is quite possible for you to, when you get a bit more advanced, maybe it corrupts a file. So definitely take advantage of using the GitHub capability just to be able to go back to check hubs and stuff. So we can see diffs are happening here. It's added 72 lines. It's removed 24 lines. And it fixes those errors. It understands those errors. And I'm pretty sure very shortly what we will have, and now it's applying the CSS styling. So I think we're only about 10 or 15 seconds away from being able to test our game in a custom visual. And you can introduce things like boss keys, etc.
Yeah.
But I still haven't made you cry yet. I
I'm getting a little emotional. I'm getting a little emotional.
Tears of joy. We'll count get a little bit more.
Oh, he's found a couple of errors.
186 lines. It's added 6 lines. And you can go through and check, see what all these lines are actually doing. And it is quite educational too. So if you do want to learn TypeScript, maybe this is quite a good place to start.
How it's implemented in the game logic.
How it's implemented the logic. I can zoom in maybe to get a little bit more visualization on what's happening. Okay, I'm going to let that go in the background, and I'm going to switch to something that I did last week for something a bit of fun. I thought there's a big glaring gap in the native visuals in Power BI.
Okay.
And the biggest gap is a music player.
A music player?
A music player. So what I did was I created a custom visual that allows you to play music. So what I'm going to do is find a track on my machine, and I've got some maybe what's a good one? Knowing me,
Country and Western.
I don't have any country and western on here, and that's all on my real machine. Okay, so let's just play this track.
Oh wow!
I don't know if you can hear this.
Wow!
But there's different visualizations that you can see.
And it's all in Power BI.
This is a Power BI custom visual.
Wow!
That I use that exact same technique to create without writing a single line of code.
Wow.
But even more, and I'm not sure why the sound isn't coming out the speakers, but believe me, this is playing. This has a DJ mode. It seems like it's coming out now. Oh, nice.
All right.
Well, it still isn't complete. What I wanted the ability to do is have a DJ mode. So I can pick 2 songs and have them playing at the same time. So if we maybe want to hear what Waterloo from ABBA sounds like playing with maybe some Guns N' Roses.
Okay, yeah, let's do it.
And see if we can sync them up. So Guns N' Roses, Paradise City. So I've selected a song on the right, I've selected a song on the left. Let's kick off the mashup. I'm not sure if we can hear the sound. We can synchronize the beats. We can speed the beats up. We can do all sorts of fun things in here. Because this is probably the kind of visual that you need. And if your boss,
I need this at work.
If your boss comes along, hit the B key, and you get the old-fashioned 80s style boss key. And when they're gone again, you hit the B key again, and you can go back to your playing your DJ mode. You can put your playlist in. You can tell it to incorporate with Spotify if you want. Yeah. Let's see how Visual Studio Code's going. It's still chugging away. It's still chugging away in the background.
That's okay, right? Show us, I think I saw some games in the other.
You did see some games. So just lastly, in Power BI, these ones don't have music.
Yeah.
I've got the old school Frogger type game, so I can click on here and start moving my little frog around.
Wow.
With 80s style game over. I died. I got to be quick.
Boom, there you go.
I died. And one more. We can go left and right. So it accepts keystrokes, and it died. I also have one over here that is a whole series of games. So we've got a memory matcher type game. And you can click on these, and then we got a match there. Whack-a-mole. Start the old whack-a-mole game, and I can keep score about how many moles I'm actually hitting here. My Minesweeper game. Click on a mine, and we have a fully functional Minesweeper game inside a custom visual, all checked into Power BI. This one doesn't have a boss key.
Yeah, that's okay.
But hopefully this technique inspires you now to actually consider the Power BI Custom Visual SDK is now quite accessible
Yeah.
to layman people who don't know TypeScript, don't want to know TypeScript,
Want to know TypeScript.
but now can actually get those visuals that cut to the chase. And as I showed you, fully cross-filter functional. So you click on a wedge on your pie chart, make it 3D, your other visuals will react.
Yeah.
Stick it in the marketplace, to make it available to everyone. So what do you think? Pretty cool. I like the music thing, isn't it? It's fun.
All right, Phil. Thank you so much for joining us today, and thank you all so much for joining us on Fabric Tech Talk Fridays. If you have any questions, comments, you know what to do. Post it in the comments below. And as always, from Phil and myself, thanks for watching. We'll see you next Friday.
Thank you everyone for watching. If you found this video valuable, don't forget to hit that like button.
If this is your first time visiting the Microsoft Fabric YouTube channel, be sure to smash that subscribe button.
Drop a comment below on what you would like to see on the future episodes of Fabric Tech Talk Fridays.
That's it for today. See you all next Friday for another deep dive into Microsoft Fabric.